Muna Makram Eibeid, welcome to WPC TV. You are a former member of Parliament in Egypt, and you are a political science professor at the American University in Cairo. And I think you also have a role on the Committee on Human Rights.
That's right. I've just been appointed to the National Council for Human Rights, and I'm head of the Committee for Social Rights.
Well, let me go straight into what you feel about the situation in Egypt now politically, because you have, I think it was obvious to everybody that the Muslim Brotherhood would do very well in the elections. I think less obvious, certainly to the outside world, was that the Salafists would do so well. And I'm wondering how you see the evolution of, if you like to call it the revolution in Egypt. How are things going to evolve over the next few months?
Well, you know that the last constitutional declaration has provoked an uproar in Egypt, and for the first time has unified the opposition, meaning that the judges, the press, all the opposition parties, most of them at least, are putting up a great resistance to what they see a return of dictatorship. The 2011 revolution was certainly not done to have a repeat of dictatorship, but rather to have a country, a state based on the respect to the rule of law, a civil, democratic, and egalitarian state. So this is where we find that these values are being jeopardized by this constitutional declaration, and that's why it has caused so much violence. And I suppose that everybody was surprised, and the first ones to be surprised were probably the Muslim Brothers and the Salafists, who never thought that, who probably banked on the disorganization and the lack of unity of the opposition parties.
But at the risk of oversimplifying things, is there really a sort of a divide between a secularist-minded, educated class and a less educated, also rural class in Egypt? Is this part of the problem?
No, I would say that there are two Egypts today that are unable to have a dialogue between them and who are ignoring each other. And that's why it's coming almost to a real confrontation. It's like two trains who are just going to bump into each other. So I cannot say that it's only the educated, because among the Muslim Brothers you also have people who have been educated abroad, and so on. But the majority...
Like President Morsi.
Yeah, if you want. But there is a group that, you know, and I think that today there is what they call in French a crispation inside the Muslim Brotherhood, because many of them are not agreeing with what is happening and with the violence that it has entailed. So I think the situation is very, very critical. It is because Egypt is a pivotal country, as you know. It is the first country that has made peace with Israel, and so we cannot ignore what is happening. Now, there are two conceptions that are totally contradictory. One conception is, as I told you, the hope that we can have a civil, democratic, modern, and egalitarian state, with the rule of law being the basis of all that, with the respect of citizenship for all, where the minorities will be respected and not treated as second-class citizens, where women will not be aggressed literally and aggressed morally as they are presently. And another view that says that they prefer that it's always the winner who sets the rules of the game, which is totally wrong. And this is what the belief in a democracy where the number is what counts and not the values that you pretend.
Well, I don't want to ask you which way you think things will end, because I imagine I know perfectly well where your preferences will be, but when do you think this particular final question, when do you think this particular question will
I
be
think that
resolved?
if the opposition, who has been quite united this time and who has shown a real objective of getting together and forming a front, if they persist in this until the parliamentary elections and they're able to garner 40 to 50% of the seats, then we will have a balanced parliament. And that's what we really need. And it's the only thing that we can hope for now and that we can have as an objective in the near future. So I will be running for elections, if you want to know, and in a beautiful place which is called Luxor, which
Indeed,
you probably
yes.
visited. And I look forward to that. And I'm sure that the opposition will make a much better performance this time than it did last time.
Inshallah. Mona Makram Abid, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me.